The champagne in my glass tinkled melodically as my sister, Jessica Carter Williams, tapped it with a knife. The ballroom of the Plaza Hotel fell silent. All 300 guests, mostly her sorority sisters, my parents' country club friends, and the groom's Wall Street colleagues, turned to look. Jessica's smile was razor-sharp, honed to perfection through years of practice in front of the mirror, years of patronizing smirks and carefully rehearsed expressions of triumph. She was a master of subtle insults disguised as charm, and this moment, her wedding toast, was her stage to showcase her mastery. She basked in the spotlight, in the warm glow of the crystal chandeliers reflecting off her ivory Vera Wang dress, which, she never missed an opportunity to mention, cost more than my used car. "Firstly, I want to thank my wonderful parents for this perfect wedding," she began, her voice sweet as syrup, but with an underlying thread of steel. She smiled towards our parents, seated at the head table, their faces beaming with pride and satisfaction. They had always adored Jessica, their golden girl, their ticket to high society. I was just me. And my dear sister, Haley. She paused, deliberately long, letting the silence build, the tension thicken like fog before a storm. Her eyes flicked to me, sitting at a table in the far corner, in my $39 dress from TJ Maxx, which I had carefully chosen to be dressy enough but not too flashy, not wanting to overshadow the bride, though obviously I couldn't have, even if I'd tried. Her gaze lingered on my 4-year-old son, Liam, who clung tightly to my leg, his big brown eyes watching her with wary curiosity. Who proves that even with a discount dress and a secondhand life, it's still possible to show up at important events? Jessica continued, her voice rising slightly to carry to all corners of the room, ensuring no guest missed her joke. Although, darling, perhaps next time you could leave the accessory at home? She gestured towards Liam, her smile widening, more predatory now. Laughter rippled through the room, hesitant and awkward at first, then growing louder as people realized it was an invitation to join in the fun, to laugh at me, at my pathetic life, at my failure. I felt my cheeks flush, my heart pound faster. Liam shrank closer to me, his small fingers digging into the fabric of my dress. I put my arm around him, trying to shield him from my sister's poisonous arrows, though I knew words could wound far deeper than any physical blow. My mother, Margaret Carter, took the microphone, her face flushed with pleasure and champagne. "We're just glad she finally dumped that bartender she got pregnant by," she announced, her voice loud and sharp, cutting through the last echoes of laughter. The laughter intensified, louder and more brazen. I felt tears prick my eyes but held them back, unwilling to give Jessica and Mom the further satisfaction of seeing my pain. Liam buried his face into my side, his small body trembling. And then the groom took the microphone. Daniel Williams was everything my sister had ever wanted. 6'2", Ivy League graduate, vice president at Goldman Sachs. He was the epitome of success, wealth, and status, everything Jessica valued most in the world. He was the trophy she had been yearning for, and now, finally, she had him in her grasp. He cleared his throat, his gaze sweeping across the room, lingering for a moment on Jessica, and then on me. "Jessica, baby, I need to say something," he said, his voice even and calm, but with a new note in it, something I hadn't heard before. The room froze in anticipation. Murmurs and smiles rippled through the guests, thinking it was going to be some romantic gesture, a public declaration of love, another opportunity for Jessica to soak in the adoration. How romantic. Then he turned to me. "Haley, you are the strongest person I know," he stated, his voice loud and clear, cutting through the silence like a bolt from the blue. Silence descended. Dead, deafening silence. Jessica's smile faltered, then vanished like smoke in the wind. Her eyes widened in shock and incomprehension, her face paling, her lips parting in a silent scream. "Raising Liam on your own? Working 2 jobs to pay for med school?" "Well, this one here." He gestured dismissively at Jessica, his voice dripping with contempt. "Was blowing Daddy's money on designer dog clothes?" Gasps and murmurs rippled through the room. Guests exchanged glances, their faces a mixture of shock, astonishment, and, dare I say it, schadenfreude. The tension in the room was so thick it could be cut with a knife. "Oh, and P.S.?" Daniel reached into his tuxedo pocket and pulled out an envelope. I'm not signing the prenup, which means half of everything you own, Jessica, is now mine. He dropped the microphone. Literally. The microphone hit the floor with a dull thud, the sound echoing off the ballroom walls, like a full stop on this dramatic declaration. What happened in the next 72 hours? Jessica threw a tantrum, so epic that the hotel billed her for broken crockery. She screamed, shrieked, threw anything she could get her hands on, her carefully constructed world of perfect bride crumbling before everyone's eyes. I could hear her sobbing through the thin walls of my hotel room, her grief loud and unrestrained, but I couldn't bring myself to feel sorry for her. My parents disowned me for ruining the wedding. They called me, screaming down the phone, blaming me for everything, calling me selfish and a family destroyer. They couldn't see that Jessica had ruined her own life. They just wanted a scapegoat, and I, as usual, was the easiest target. Daniel moved out of their shared penthouse with the maid. It turned out Daniel and the maid had been having an affair, one that I suspected had been going on for far longer than Jessica could have imagined. Karma came for Jessica in triplicate. But the best part? The video. Someone had filmed the whole thing, from the beginning of Jessica's toast to Daniel's mic drop. The video spread across the internet faster than wildfire, fueled by curiosity, outrage, and, of course, pure, unadulterated schadenfreude. It went viral. A number Karma Bride trended for 3 weeks. Memes, parodies, remixes, worldwide Jessica Carter Williams hate. She became a symbol of everything superficial and fake about the world of the rich and famous. Jessica didn't just lose a husband. She lost. Her Instagram sponsorship deals, Goodbye Number Perfect Life, brands that had once lined up to work with her now ran from her like the plague. Her carefully curated online image of a perfect life collapsed overnight. Her place on the Junior League board. We do not condone bullying. The women she once considered her friends now turned their backs on her, condemning her publicly and privately. They were happy to be rid of her arrogance and snobbery, her dignity. TMZ caught her keying Daniel's Porsche. Paparazzi hounded her every step, documenting her fall from grace. Every humiliation was put on public display, her pain and anger entertainment for millions. Meanwhile, I got a full scholarship offer from NYU thanks to the viral attention. Universities that wouldn't have given me a second glance before were now begging me to enroll. The viral video had turned me from just a sob story into an inspirational one, a symbol of resilience and perseverance. A book deal, Single Mom versus Gold Digger. Publishers saw the potential in my story, a tale of triumph over adversity, of inner strength, and of karma. Suddenly, I was in demand. My story wanted to be shared with the world. Daniel's testimony in my lawsuit against our parents for stealing my college fund. It turned out Daniel knew about my parents using my college fund to finance Jessica's whims. He was willing to testify in court to help me get back what was rightfully mine. Last month, Jessica showed up at my new apartment, paid for by my royalty advance. The apartment was modest but cozy, with big windows and a park view. It was my own space, my sanctuary, a place where I could just be me, without judgment or ridicule. She was drunk. Her makeup was smeared, her hair disheveled, her dress crumpled. She looked like a shadow of her former self, a ghost of her once perfect life. "You ruined my life," she slurred, her words thick and slurred. Her words were full of hate and despair, but also a note of self-pity that I had long since learned to recognize. I handed her a Starbucks napkin to wipe away her running mascara. I kept my voice calm, even sympathetic, though inside, I was seething. I could have yelled at her, accused her, taken revenge for all the years of humiliation and insults. But I didn't. I just looked at her, with sadness and understanding. "No, sis, you did that yourself." My voice was quiet but firm, devoid of gloating or triumph, only sadness. Sadness for what our relationship had become. Sadness that she had never understood what truly mattered in life. Then I closed the door for good. I felt no triumph, only weariness and relief. I was closing the door not just on Jessica, but on the past, on all the pain and resentment. I was ready to move on, to start a new chapter of my life, free from the toxic influence of my family. Funny how quickly perfect crumbles to dust when someone finally speaks the truth. All the carefully constructed falsehoods, all the pretense and lies, it all collapses under the weight of truth, revealing the ugly reality hiding beneath the facade. Sometimes, all it takes is one honest voice to expose the lies and change everything. And on that day in the Plaza Hotel, Daniel Williams became that voice. And Jessica Carter, Williams's world changed forever. And my life, against all odds, was just beginning to get good.